We live. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the show with the master plan. I don't know. This is a light in the sky at 4400 recap show. I am your co-host, Rhayne Coleman, and I have with me today, like y'all should be used to it by now, but please let these folks know who is on the mic today.
It is Robert. Uh, don't spoil this Spider-Man movie for me,
Oh yes, yes,
Jeffrey.
yes,
Yeah, I should have added in there.
yes.
Let at least a week go by before you start
God,
dropping details.
oh
Like
my
at least a
God.
week. At
Yeah,
least a
that would
week.
be nice. That would be nice, folks. Come on, it's holiday season. The kids
Hmm.
getting out of school, jobs. You got your PTO. People are trying to make stuff shake. Do not spoil the dang on movie.
That's my
Um,
gift.
Good
It's a
lord,
gift to
right,
me.
right. Okay. So we at the mid-season finale. This is
Hmm.
season one, episode 8. I'm banking on 13 episodes, especially because we ended the mid-season at 8.
Yeah.
I think maybe we could go to 16, but I'm thinking 13 is what I saw online.
Hmm.
If anybody can confirm or deny, let us know. Um, this episode is the Kaminski experiment, where Logan's adjustment to Shanice's return has been harder than he let on. Meanwhile, Rev is beginning to see the light. So, episode 8,
Hmm.
mid-season finale. How do you feel about this episode?
Um. All right. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I
Yo.
That's yeah. I mean, I feel all right. I
Hmm.
didn't hate it. It wasn't one of like. There were moments in it that I did enjoy. Um, but overall, it wasn't one of the ones that I was just like extra hyped about.
Hmm.
Um, all right. That's kind of
Okay.
where I'm at. How about you?
Yeah, I think that's fair. For me, I'm always hyped when I first watch the episode, but then watching it, running it back,
Hmm.
I I'm going to agree with you. I think the stuff that got me excited was like more so towards the end
Hmm.
and maybe a little bit in the beginning. So this as like a slice of life Logan origin story was okay.
Hmm.
But I have thoughts, and they're
Okay.
not all good. So I'll say that. I'll say that. They're not all good. Um, yeah. So right away we get the. I don't even know Logan's last name, but the Logan family preparing to go on a vacation for a
Yeah.
week, and Hayden is included because he's their
Hmm.
adopted son now. Which also in itself seems kind of odd that they would like give him over to this. I don't know. Whatever. I know. I'm not a social worker, but I I don't like Bridget. I do not like Bridget.
Keep going, because that's
Okay.
one of the talking points I
Okay.
have.
So I'm really trying to, even more than I would ordinarily,
Hmm.
give some grace to Bridget because I think if you look at the situation, yeah, Logan and Shanice are in a terrible predicament. But I look at Bridget how I look at Mariah. She didn't ask for any of this. But
Hmm.
at some point, you are a grown woman. So, however fantastical the supernatural part of this is, you still like this may not have been in the cards for you. Like you didn't want to deal with a man with like drama from an ex-wife, but like it
Hmm.
happened. And I don't think that I think she's being very selfish and very childish when it
Hmm.
comes to Shanice because you've been married to this man for 9 years, or at least
Hmm.
been with him for 9 years. So like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to give her some grace, but I don't like Bridget at all.
Yeah. There, his last name is Kaminsky.
Commit.
Kaminsky. Yeah. No, no, I mean, no, no. I had to go to like IMDb to figure it out because
Yo,
I've just been calling him Logan. I mean,
yeah,
real talk. So I mean,
yeah.
I didn't even pick up that's what the
Neither
title
did
was
I.
going for, and I was like, oh, look at
Yeah,
them referencing a actual experiment. So, and maybe it has some reference to something that's actually happened.
yeah.
So for Bridget,
Come on.
the type of agency is like she's like fuck the motherfucker. It's like whoa, Bridget, it didn't really make her come off in like the most. the best of lights, or I mean, like the best light, the best
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, because I did go back and I was thinking of like the times that she's been featured. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that conversation that she had with Keisha when they were, looking at the
Yep.
different rooms. I
Mm-hmm.
remember her introduction and when she didn't read the room. when,
Yeah.
when,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Good
with
Lord.
that. Yeah, so they have not given her a lot of opportunities,
Right. Right.
to like flesh her out. So we have, I mean, she's been very accommodating,
Yeah.
to this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And um so it was just it's one of those things where I think we finally got a chance to see what's going on, what's going on with her. And I will say that this is weeks after Logan been going
Yes.
back and forth about everything,
Yeah.
just like every damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine her sitting there and watching your husband be like, "Yo, I want my ex to be a part of my child's life," and then the other week is like, "Whatever, the fuck
Yeah.
her," just like that. So it's
Yeah.
like this is the first time that I've actually seen her say more than like a bunch of like two sentences
Yeah. Yeah.
about something,
Yeah. I'd
and
agree.
it
Yeah.
and it didn't make her look
Yeah.
the best. So it's kind of like in the wrong way. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't know if this was
So yeah.
intentional.
Uh,
I hope not.
mhm.
Mm-mm. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
just. I
we'll
just. Yeah.
we'll
I
see.
just. Yeah. She is something else. I just. I don't. I feel like with Rev, we of course we got more of him than her, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm going to wait until the next episode. But as of right now, listeners, viewers, I am not a fan of Bridget. I don't
Okay.
like the way she's written, and I feel bad because I had hope for her. But
Hmm.
whatever, whatever,
There's
whatever.
it's funny because I actually there was that moment when they're doing the interview with
Yeah,
Detroit's Oprah Winfrey
right,
and
right.
or down here Monica Kaufman. Shout out to people in Atlanta watching this. Um, but she when the reporter brought up the
Hmm.
whole thing of Shanice,
Yeah.
he said, your ex-wife is a 4400,
Hmm.
and your not ex-wife, he said your wife, and then she says your wife, and then he holds her hand, to show
Hmm.
kind of like some type of solidarity. So I just
Yeah.
like I was like, okay, so they're actually putting a focus on that, or like the
Hmm.
strain that this has possibly been putting
Right,
on the
right.
relationship. So, but yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, but Logan is still trash too. But yeah, I'm still going to try to give Bridget some grace, but I do think that that grocery store scene and
Hmm.
really even like the punching bag scene, it's like you you're in an impossible situation and you are one of the victims here. I mean, to say that there's a victim, um, but you can't be that. Like I was under the impression that she came along like when Mariah was like 2. Mariah was 7. Mariah was like
Hmm.
fully aware of life and that
Right.
she didn't have a mother active in her life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know, but I just okay. I want to focus on her this whole episode, but I just
Yeah.
do not like the way she's being handled. And I think one more episode will give me more insight as to if I think it's the character or if it's like the show is just really doing her wrong. So
Okay.
I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there.
I want a T-shirt that says "Became aware of." What do you say? Became aware of life.
Yes,
Like I'm
yes,
aware of life. um,
yes.
it's like, yo, I'm here. um, so there was, one other thing that I guess stood out to me was um, Shanice.
Hmm.
Shanice, and she I don't want to say they gave her more to do because she's been doing a lot within these
Yes.
past episodes, but she was the one that was confronting the situation head on.
Yeah.
The thing with the contracts, the
Hmm.
you know having, I thought, pretty decent scenes with Reverend Johnson, and then ultimately being the ones to figure out what the government was trying to do, as far
Hmm.
as with that. So, seeing her, because one of the things we kept talking about this is that she might be that leader, for the
Yeah.
people
Hmm.
at the hotel. and I was very impressed with them, kind of guiding her, towards that. And like I said,
Yeah,
not saying that she hasn't really been, doing a thing, doing her thing before, but
yeah,
I thought that this one worked out because like there was a direct threat, to the
yeah,
4400,
yeah.
by fire starter by
Race
fire.
against Johnny Storm, like
Yeah,
Haitian Johnny Storm. Goddamn it.
exactly.
Yeah. Hmm.
But
I,
yeah.
I'm a fan of hers too.
Hmm.
I Jupiter Julep 20. Oh Lord, I'm been forgot her dang on name, but mentioned to me, and I'm going to find it and repeat it when
Hmm.
the real name. But she mentioned like Shanice being like the main character, and something I didn't consider is that Shanice is kind of the audience surrogate outside of LaDonna, and they've done a
Hmm.
good job of like, because she's young, I think removing her from being an audience surrogate. Outside of LaDonna, she is the one that is the closest in continuity or time with us. She
Hmm.
also is the lawyer, so she has the advocacy on the legal side as well as being like the front runner, the main person. And so there is, like you said, an argument for Shanice being the the Cyclops or the Storm of the 4400, and I like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
It that made more sense to me when she pointed it out because I know she's a lawyer, but I wasn't even thinking like, yeah, she's able to do all of these legal hoops and MacGuffins because of her, her education. Jupiter Julia 24.
Hmm.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, I like Shanice. I like Shanice a lot in this episode. She let her hair down. She let her hair down, but oddly enough, she actually put her hair up this episode. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
her relationship with Andre, how do you feel about that?
It's I don't know. They seem to be going through a lot, and it seems they seem to be going through a lot. Nothing can just be with them,
Yeah.
and I think part of it is, well, part of it was because of her going back and forth,
Hmm.
or um, and even Logan. I mean, I think there was one episode where you called it a a love square
Yes.
or something. It was
Yes. That's
like
what
you
it
said,
is.
Bridget, Logan, Shanice, and Dr. Andre, and that just
Hmm.
got broken. And I think because that was broken, and what I felt was actually one of the best scenes of the episode,
Hmm.
that can hopefully allow them to move forward.
Yeah.
But up until now, it's been, I think we've naturally kind of seen them get together, but then also it just hasn't been able to blossom.
Yeah.
It's just been complicated. So
Yeah. I do you think they have chemistry? Because I don't know. Like the actors.
um I think it was there early on,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
it's getting,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think so. I'm like, is this a testament to them acting strained? Because like
Mm.
I'm not feeling
So yeah.
them as close, and I that's what I'm chalking it up to. Is just they're going through it, and you know there's a strain there. It's kind of a weird, it's a weird
Hmm.
vibe. Now, if they have fallen out of actor chemistry, then I'm
Hey.
like, damn, what happened? Because
Yeah.
it was. So I think I'm laying that more so on the story that's being told. Now,
Yeah.
if by after this week, things don't start clicking, I'm just like, okay, we don't need to continue to string this out.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, it ain't as bad as Nissa and and Grace.
Oh my God, yes, that was yeah. So it's not that bad, and even my issues with it is they're not really issues. I just, much like you, I thought they had a little bit more chemistry initially, but then I'm
Hmm.
also thinking Andre, like the actor, is somebody who's alive in 2021, not
Hmm.
from the 1920 nothing, and so I'm thinking like maybe there is also that combination of like having the love interest, but then because like Andre mentioned in the episode with Jarrell, like are we just supposed to have just vibes, so to speak?
Yeah.
Because I'm not
Hmm.
used to that. I'm from a certain time, so I'm giving them a little bit more grace in that chemistry department than I think I would with another couple
Hmm.
because he's from 1920 whatever,
Right.
so I think that's going to carry me over at least for the next few episodes.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man. What do we got? Logan's. Well, do you want to do his flashbacks now, or do you want to kind of hold off?
Can we do the support group?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
that
Come on.
that was one of my favorite moments for like the wrong
Yes.
reasons. I
Yes.
actually I do like the idea of them showing something like this where
Hmm.
people who have suffered a loss, of a loved one, or maybe as a result of trauma, because you got to
Yeah.
think there, gunshot victim,
Yeah.
family, just whatever. So
Yeah.
I like seeing him. This is something, or establishing that this is something that he went to, or that he decided to do, when he lost
Hmm.
his wife.
Yeah.
Um, and I like that Keisha was in the scene. She
Yeah.
joined. I mean, like I said, it's definitely convenient, but it's still another way to kind of connect these two characters who have
Hmm.
suffered a loss.
Right.
What I thought was hilarious, what I didn't like was when he started telling the story. He was like, yeah, she's like, she literally dropped out. They was like, whoa, 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 you need to
Yeah.
get the fuck out. You need
Yeah.
to leave. Go. Bye. And I was just like, damn, don't you have like a process where you kind of ease the person out?
I
Just,
mean, yeah, that was wild. I was like,
yeah.
this doesn't feel, even if like I was a smoker and I went to like an AA instead of Narcotics Anonymous, I feel
Yeah.
like it would be a little bit more grace. Like, okay, you can stay here today. Well, I mean,
Right.
I don't know, but it just feels like in that environment, you,
You Yeah, no, like I said, you can't tell that to this man who's been coming here for multiple years. Like, okay, and just go,
yeah,
just go. And the circumstances are not the same. Are not. I mean,
right.
they're weird set of circumstances, but then
Mm.
also you can't tell me. I mean, maybe there are. If this happened, y'all have to be better prepared on
Yeah,
how to let a person leave this instead of just saying like get out.
yeah.
And I think one guy was just like, "Oh, the 4400 is a hoax. It was a black
Yes,
guy."
that black dude,
Yeah, the
man.
black dude. The woman was like, "You got what all of us wanted." And then like the white guy, it was like, and then the white guy, the white lady, and the black guy.
Yep,
And the
no,
white
that
guy
white
said,
man. Hmm.
"Yeah," and then everybody's just talking over each other. And when they came back to commercial, everybody's just walking on fast back to their cars.
I was stressed. I was like, who's
Yeah.
running this meeting? Who is allowing
Right.
this? Because it looked like Logan was running the meeting for a second. I was
Right.
like, uh, th- this was
Yeah.
terrible. I
It
didn't like
was,
this at all.
and then Keisha came at him. Like he's like, and I'm jealous. And I'm like, okay, what the okay,
Like he
you
didn't experience grief.
right. Like y'all
All
just tossed all his his feelings out the window and just kicked him out of the club. I mean, I'm like, if that's how support groups work, yeah,
right.
I'll just stick with counselors.
Yeah.
Like that's just,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just thought that was hilarious how they,
Hmm.
were like over. Now they weren't the cartoony racists, but um that shit was
Ah,
it was hilarious. They said, "No,
yeah.
you deserve no more support."
I was like,
Um
ugh.
it was
And who's
messy.
run- and then Keisha? I mean, I guess she maybe wouldn't have been like, "Hey, I'm Keisha, and I work for the 4400." But like, still, you didn't have
Mhm.
a reaction to that, Keisha. Like,
Well, no, she was off in the corner going.
right? Like, she's like,
Like,
"Got
she's
shit to
just
do
like,
with
she
me."
said, "I need my support." They probably asked her. She's like, "So what do you do for a living?" She's like, I'm a parole officer
No,
for the
for real.
greater city of Detroit." And then that was it.
Look, yeah, yeah.
You know.
Oh, this shit
Um,
was goofy.
so the non-makeup Logan in the past, so
Hmm.
the flashbacks. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, he's annoying. No,
Damn! Wow.
I actually like the past scenes. My
Hmm.
favorite was when Shanice showed up. That whole scene of them in the living
Yeah.
room and then walked to, I thought that was expertly done.
Hmm.
Um I don't know if I am happy with the way that they presented those scenes this episode, because it's like they gave us a little bit, but then they saved the bulk of it for Shanice's vision, and that's fine. But
Hmm.
and I don't even have like a suggestion on how it could have been better, but there's something about the way those scenes were given to us. I thought they all were good scenes,
Mhm.
except for Mrs. Grover telling him, "You need to move on. Like Shanice is gone. You got to get you a new woman. I can't be that woman for you. Move your ass." That's what she said. Um,
I actually enjoyed
yeah.
that.
See, Miss Grover was like, "Hey, I got my
Yeah.
bundles. You
Exactly.
know, what I'm saying, you got to get them. Was 16 years ago with that make her like maybe late 40s.
Hmm.
Yeah, she still was having company. I'll say
Yep.
that. But I like the scenes. I just there's a disconnect with me
Hmm.
on how they were presented because of that like intense scene at the police station through her vision at the end. I was like, this doesn't to me match the Logan we've gotten every episode. Some of his actions match this, but
Hmm.
some of them don't. So I'm still kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
Mm.
They're so I and if you notice they told them they went backwards
Yeah,
instead of going
yeah.
forward or whatever. So
Hmm.
because when we saw them playing a board game or so, it was Bridget, him, and
Right.
Mariah and
Hmm.
Mariah. I was like, what is happening? What is going on? But then I was just like, oh, okay, so this is a day when Shanice showed up.
Hmm.
It was first episode, but
Yeah.
and so then they jump back again, and I actually liked what Miss Grover was saying. Like,
Hmm.
you got to move on. I'm not your babysitter for life.
Hmm.
Um, and then and then when she mentioned you also have a house, so
Yes.
it was just a thing. Like, um, so I thought that was actually it was kind of keeping it real. The thing about the scene with when Shanice grabbed his arm, I felt that was kind of a decent cap on
Hmm.
that conversation because
Okay.
she got to see or understand the
Mm.
lengths, the kind of where he was at, like
Hmm.
mentally and just kind of emotionally. And, and he goes to talk to the cops, and they just got the manila folder. And they were like, "Yeah, she doesn't want to be with you. Check this out." And I was just like, "You gotta have that. Doesn't happen like that."
At all.
Like, I'm not. I don't. I'm not a I have no background in law enforcement, but I
At a,
think that
mm,
when they reveal to you that your wife possibly just ran away instead of being captured, murdered, whatever, kidnapped, murdered. They don't just do it at the not the bullpen, whatever you call that desk, and just
yeah.
hand you the middle of the folder with the
Hmm.
It was just like they were bothered, and they were
Right.
bothered by him.
I I don't I don't like that. To me it felt like they had been sitting on that information and just didn't tell them yet.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not even like
Yeah.
a cop stand. Like I don't like
Hmm. Yeah.
love the police, but like,
Hmm.
come on, don't do this. Don't do this. So
It was
yeah.
weird, yeah, and
Hmm.
so that moment I did like. Then that it's funny because like now we have these large chunk of the episodes where it's like the big event that happened because that part takes place in
Yes.
when Mildred thought to pop the fuck the fuck off,
Oh,
which is once again like 50% of our conversation because there's a lot of
fam.
stuff that happens.
Yes.
And that stuff, that's what I'm trying to save to the end. But jumping onto that, because we're talking about the flashbacks, I really like that.
Okay.
And just to see Shanice, her reaction where she saw it,
Hmm.
I think it was once again, I closed that door. Um, I hope, please,
No, no, yeah, yeah,
because if it doesn't, then that's when we're getting more into the CW
yeah,
tropes of
yeah,
like will they, won't they,
yeah,
and that is the part of whatever shows that I watch, which are mainly the Arrowverse shows,
yeah.
that I'm not a big fan of. Like
Okay.
you can leave that.
Yeah.
I'm used to it, but I think these people are adults, and these are not
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
30-year-old actors playing 18-year-old
Right.
vampires, going back and forth from relationships.
Right.
These are grown ass men and women. So y'all like at a
Hmm.
certain point, just like fuck it, I'm either gonna stay with a person or I'm not.
Yeah.
That's love, y'all.
Yes.
It just
Yes. You ain't wrong. You are not wrong.
um,
Um. My next talking point depends on what is Shanice's power. Now,
Mm,
are we sharing this vision because you're touching me, or is Shanice only seeing it? Because with
mm,
Andre saw her
mm,
look at his memory of her saying, good night, Logan, as well as the Noah trans thing. But then when she
yeah.
touched Mariah, I don't think Mariah saw, and I'm like, maybe because it was her first time,
Yeah.
Mariah didn't see the vision that she saw. But then this time with Logan,
Mm.
I couldn't tell if Logan was also like reliving that memory of the police station. So,
That's a good question. I mean, maybe she turned it. Well, I mean, it's not even a turn it on, turn it off thing because it seems like it
mm,
happens at random.
hmm
That's a good question. I don't know because Andre did see it.
hmm
Um,
So I'm like, maybe do only 4,400 share them. I don't know, but I bring
mm,
that up to say that this scene, now that you've talked through it, I do feel a little better about it because I did not like this
mhm.
scene. I didn't like it at all.
Between the
Um,
two of them or the flashback.
the, both, well, the flashback for all the reasons you mentioned, like this, again, this
Yeah.
impossibly like racist caricature as police. But that aside, Logan, I feel like he is wrong. With like, oh, this has to be the end of us. We got closure, but like, did we get closure? Because nothing. Like for her to say, "Am I cheating on you? Am I being unfaithful?" And he's like, "No, it's me. I am." It's like there feels like there's something missing. Where like him, her, and Bridget should have had like I feel like we should have seen Bridget more, even if that
Mhm.
actress didn't say anything, but she was always there, like
Yeah.
picking Mariah up from Ipsy Med, all of that, like because
Hmm.
I don't feel that Logan has this solid relationship with her, and it's not the actor's fault. It's just what the show has decided to do. But
Hmm.
it doesn't like this closure scene to me would have felt better if I thought Logan was battling between Bridget and his newly returned wife. But I never got the sense that he loved Shanice to the point where I'm about to run away with you. Like I never
Right.
got that. I felt like okay, you still love her. You're with Bridget. This newly returned woman is kind of messing up your relationship because you're emotionally torn and you have a child together. But I never thought as an audience member that he was going to leave Bridget for Shanice. So when we get these Bridget scenes where she's like, "No, you're still not over her," and blah whatever, it makes her feel petty because I'm like,
Mm.
you've been with him for 9 freaking years. You've raised his
Right.
daughter as your own. And yeah, there's the option, you don't own anyone. People can do what they want. But
Right.
I never got this sense that Logan was going to leave her. So it was like, I don't know. I don't know.
There. So if we okay, so we can focus on that scene specifically. Um, the reason I felt that there was some closure was because of the music. No, let me stop. It was like nah,
Yeah,
it got very sappy. I mean, at least it wasn't doo 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 doo.
right,
Anyways,
right.
I felt that they both of them brought it. As far as now, okay, they did well. The actors did well.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
felt the dialogue was in kind of going back and forth. The thing is the conflict was more with her. I
Hmm.
never got the sense from him that he was just like longing for his ex-wife. If
Yeah.
anything, Logan seems to have been openly hostile
Hey,
to, and it's
hey.
nothing. And we said this before. It's nothing against the actor. He's been
Hmm.
back and forth. He even went back and forth for this episode. Like he
Yes.
was, he was like hot and cold in the same episode. So I don't know if that's a reflection
Yeah.
of the his emotions being like turbulent,
Uh huh.
but at no point did I think that he was interested in getting back with her. The thing though that I feel that they did a service with Shanice in this part was the
Hmm.
part where she said you want to try again or something,
That
and it was just
that
like
was weird.
whoa.
That came out of nowhere.
Right. And in my mind she was like she said, "Fuck Andre, fuck Bridget, fuck Raya, however she
No,
feels
yeah.
about this."
Yes.
And I didn't expect that. Like,
Mm-mm.
and
Mm-mm.
I was like, "Whoa, was this the best look?"
It
Yo, so
they're failing all of these actors because that was terrible. That doesn't even
yeah,
line up with her. Like if she had maybe had
right,
in the first maybe 2 or 3 episodes, maybe. But we on episode 8. We've been out for like 2 months. This don't make no sense.
right. She's like, it's not even, and that wouldn't even be. I wouldn't classify her as a homewrecker, like if that had happened, but
Hmm.
it would have been like out of pocket because like
Yeah.
when she said that, I was like, oh wow, okay, fuck
Hmm.
Andre.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so that was so that without beating that scene to death, that was I liked it. There were
Hmm.
things about it. I hope that it's closed the door.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I think that's probably one of the reasons why I enjoyed it
Okay.
as much as I did because it just shut that door, and I don't
Yeah.
want it to open up anymore. Like
At
I
all.
I don't need it to. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that. I honestly, all my critiques, I am still good with that because
Mhm.
there also was the line from Logan, which was, "I know you're still going to be a kick-ass mom to Mariah,"
Right.
and so I'm fine with this, even with my issues. But my issues with Bridget are not her kind of picking at him about having Shanice sign a letter for Mariah to leave school for a week.
Hmm.
Felt petty,
Yeah.
like if we're married, like I just maybe we need to focus on them a little bit more because I feel like if we're married, we are having these conversations constantly.
Hmm.
Maybe not every day, but we are on the same page, so that you understand why this is important to me. And also, like, put yourself in her shoes, Bridget. If you had a husband and a newborn kid, but again, I don't want to beat her to death, but I don't like the way I don't like it. So
Yeah. Um. Yeah. They're. I told you, like I said, they gave her more of a personality this week, and it wasn't. It was
mm,
petty. Like it was a
mm,
weird, really kind of petty thing. And
yeah,
some folks will be like, "Well, is that wrong on her?" Because like this is a weird
yes,
ass situation for her,
no, it's
right?
very
No,
wrong.
that's
Like,
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like looking at it, I mean, either way, like I said, I didn't like how she came off, but I know it's one of those things where
hmm,
people are just like, "Well, put yourself in her shoes," and I
yeah,
was just like, but this was a lot for just one episode. It wasn't the development because she seemed
yeah,
cool. She
yes,
seemed
yes.
cool in the gang up
It's
until this
the first,
episode. So
no.
that would be my response. Is just like just as much as we learned about Mildred's
Hmm.
Maleficent sister, that shit came out of nowhere.
Yes,
Um,
God,
had
yes.
no damn idea that she had relatives,
And that they
and
were also a 4400. Like,
or had been kidnapped by the government. There's a lot of shit that
there
happened.
is a lot.
Um, like, don't get into Black Lightning territory where they'll be like, "Well,
Oh
this
my
motherfucker fell off
goodness.
a bridge in episode 5," and
Yeah.
like, what?
There, there's no bridge in Freeland. No, but yeah.
Exactly. There's no bridges.
Oh
We didn't get
man.
that. What was it? Build Better America infrastructure money. They didn't. They said fuck
Mm,
Freeland.
man,
Freeland turned
say.
into no
Yeah.
man's land from
Yeah,
Batman.
Batman, yeah. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Golly. That was a terrible, you know what?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, shit was crazy. The shootouts in the streets, people rolling
Oh my
around.
goodness. My goodness,
Oh
man.
man, maybe I'll do a rewatch. No, I'm not. So the there was I there was a pairing that Jarrell and Andre,
Yeah.
and
Talk
I
about it.
enjoyed the two of them together, but there was so
Mhm.
much like clapback going. Um,
No,
it was just like, and I felt
unnecessarily.
yeah, I felt Dr. Andre was being nosy. I'm sorry. I
Mhm.
think he was being nosy. He was like, and she doesn't mind you being at her house, huh?
Yeah, right.
What? Yes. It's just like Andre, chill.
See, I'll come down on Jarrell. That's funny. I thought
What
Andre was fine. I thought Jarrell was
was out of okay? Was out of pocket. Okay.
in.
I mean, either way, they were both out of pocket. It was
Yeah,
like,
and I'm. Yeah, they were. I like that pairing too, and I do want to
mhm,
see more of them. Just like I want more of Claudette and Miss Grover because of their
yeah.
shared experience.
Mhm,
Um, but this was good. I they felt like I don't even want to say brothers. They felt like I don't know what they felt like, but them together
mhm,
with the backdrop of Claudette and Shanice and like having this kind of guy talk, but a space where this man is from 100 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, were born in what 1986, Jarrell. You
Right.
know, it's like I like that. I like when you get those pairings,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that the conversation, even if it's written a certain way, can be interpreted so many other ways because it's from so many different like time periods or whatnot. But I did enjoy them going at each other's necks.
Mm-hmm.
Jarrell was telling like, "Nigga, you being nosy as hell. Like, mind your business." But yeah,
In the most polite way possible.
yeah.
The and yet another episode where Claudette is gone. Like I think there have been episodes where we haven't had all of the main characters in it, but they
Hmm.
never give a reason for why they're gone.
Yeah.
Um, I know in this one she's at a bartending school
Hmm.
conference or
And
whatever.
LaDonna with her
Yeah,
dad.
and LaDonna. Okay, actually now we do have LaDonna with her dad,
Hmm.
but because of what happened last week, um, we, she
Bro,
might be getting artillery,
hey, hey,
just like
getting the troops
AK-47s,
together.
like
Yes, yes.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I thought that was interesting. So we,
Hmm.
after the break, I mean, if we have 13 episodes, that's six
That's
more
7 weeks.
episodes.
Oh yeah.
Is that we've had eight? Yeah,
Wait.
seven. Wait, no.
Oh wait, listeners? You
Yeah.
tell us.
Eight. If we've done eight, it's gonna be five. It's gonna be five if I'm doing my math right.
Yo,
Yeah,
yo,
five
yeah,
more
that sounds
episodes.
about
So,
right. Yeah, because Naomi and Tom Swift was gonna. Yeah, so that makes sense. That makes sense.
mhm. Yeah, they So let's get to I call it Hotel Motel
Holiday Inn.
and Melissa Maleficent.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what's
So
up?
they're there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I do like that Shanice, Jarrell, and Keisha realized like what was going on.
Hmm.
What was going on, especially when Andre saw that it was the guy. What do you think about Firestarter? What are your thoughts?
I hate it and I love it.
Mhm.
So Andre recognizing him from MC Man kind of pisses me off because I didn't recognize that man. He was literally on fire. So I was like, how could you? But maybe he just has
Yeah,
a great 1920s picture perfect
Vision.
memory. There's something. Okay. Um I like that we got him. I like that he has that accent. I don't know if the actor is like African or Caribbean or whatnot, but I like
Mhm.
that because it's something different, a little bit more diversity.
Yeah.
And then I want to know what time period you come from because if you are, let's just say Haitian, what time in Haitian history do you hail from?
Yeah.
And so I like that. What I don't like is I feel like him, much like with Mildred, he's introduced to give more kind of plot threads that may not be tied up that'll give us some season 2 stuff. But
Mhm.
he might pop up in the second half of season 1. Long story short, I like him and I like the
Mhm.
character. However, I do not understand what is the point because they never even said Bill Green was like, oh, if if we get him to burn down a column, they'll see that the like I get that Shanice figured out the
Yeah.
conservatorship, but there was
Mhm.
never like he's here to cause problems. Like he was
Mhm.
just a black man who showed up.
Yeah.
So it's like, what was he supposed to do? He never said they told me to burn half the hotel and then I can get my freedom. And I'm like, and why
Exactly.
are you unsupervised? And also, so I like him.
Mhm.
However, I don't know what the heck, like MacGuffin.
Mhm.
His name is MacGuffin because
It's MacGuffin. He's
even the way he,
the
bro,
Haitian MacGuffin.
the way he spoke to Jarrell and Keisha, it was like yes, and I got fired. I was like,
Fire.
what are, where exactly are you from?
Yeah.
Because I don't know,
Um.
I don't know.
He that if that was the government's plan,
Mm,
then I need them to start doing better. Like, did they just think that he was gonna go down there and start like wilding out with like the fire on his hands, or burn the cameraman or the reporter? It just seemed like such a shitty plan
very.
for him to like just lose it. and then like when you saw Bill Green in the office, just like the motherfucker ain't burning shit. I mean,
That's exactly what he was saying, pretty much. Like,
right. It was just like, okay, y'all gotta do better. Y'all really have to do better because his incentive for he said they would let me out and to do what? I don't know. I think I was supposed to just burn shit. So I don't know if he was supposed to just reveal his abilities or if he was supposed to attack somebody.
yeah,
If so, if they tell you to go attack somebody on live TV or just do damage, you're going back to jail. So if he didn't do 1 + 1 = jail for doing anything with these abilities, I really hope. I mean, he's stupid also, but I think that I hope that the plan was for him to just go down there and start, waving the fiery hands around, and then that would just freak out America,
yeah.
especially Middle America. They'd be like, "Oh shit, these motherfuckers got fire now."
This black man
This
with
black
fire
man,
from
yeah.
his yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say the other whatever, but
Oh, was it?
I was like, "Oh shit, what else could they do?"
Uh,
They kept it from us. They taught us
these
the
magical
TikTok dancing.
Negroes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We stole their TikTok dances. Can we steal their fire abilities?
Yo, yeah.
Man. So I didn't like the plan. I
Me
just
either.
didn't. I mean, I
Me
like
either.
the fact that they figured it out, but when he was up there, like I said, when he was up there on the phone, he was like, "We can't find him." I'm like, "How big is this fucking hotel?"
And why? Where are the security? Like, how would you
Wait,
had
dude,
him change? Okay,
we gonna get
okay,
to that.
okay,
we
okay,
gonna get to that.
okay.
Okay,
Hey.
um, so then the discussion that Shanice had with the Reverend, I enjoyed. Once again, this was a part of the back and forth between the two that I liked. I liked it when he said, "You only see me as a threat,"
Come on,
and
come on.
I enjoyed that. But I still think he's doing something on the low.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
and
Yep.
if I'm correct, then he's a master manipulator at
Yes.
this point
Yes. And I
because he
love
was.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, what were your thoughts when he was just like oblivious to what had happened and all of this and that?
That I actually think that he is innocent in that regard. I
Okay.
do. I like that. I hate this character, but and then I like Shanice, but this is the second episode where he has pretty much put Shanice in her place. Like, you don't. What was the
Hmm.
first one was like, you think everyone getting out is great because you want to be out. You're not looking
Yeah.
out for our best interest. I was like, damn, I don't like him, but he's right. And
Hmm.
even here, so it's kind of like that Magneto from the '60s thing, when the world was a different place.
Hmm.
I hope that continues because I like the idea that a person who's already set up as a villain, um, either is great at kind of playing with words or is being genuine, but either way is right. A lot of stuff like
Yeah.
the show does a good job at setting him up to be the villain, her and her crew to be the good guys, and
Hmm.
then having her come face to face with him and he's like, "No, your story ain't the only story that matters. You're looking at me like this bad person
Hmm.
and I don't trust him. I'm with you." But in this instance, I think he's actually innocent. And I could be wrong,
Hmm.
but I do think that he wasn't aware of maybe all of the intentions that Bill Green had.
Hmm.
But he's also an opportunist. Like, if I link up with the government, they would do what they do. At least I'm on their good side, whatever. But I don't trust him. But I don't think he. But then again, why were you upstairs when Mildred was
Right.
up there acting a fool?
Yeah. I mean, I chalked that up to him going to actually have the conversation with Bill
Okay.
Green.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because he was even now. What conversation was he going to have? Was he going? Yeah, like was he going to be like, "Man, these people know," or you're like, "Oh, what
Yeah.
you do?" That type of thing. But I still
Hmm.
don't. If it comes out that he's just like completely hands clean, I'm like, okay, y'all set him up for like no, y'all made him look grimy for like no apparent reason.
At
Um, in there, when let's just talk about Mildred.
Come on. Come
When
on.
she when she so we got to the so that starts with the family interview with the Kaminskis and then Hayden just look uncomfortable about life. Like every other scene Hayden is in,
Yeah.
he just looks very uncomfortable.
Hmm.
So the line Mariah says, the whole thing of like, "Well, you're going to be a heartthrob," and then Mariah's like, "Well,
He's
I don't know." She
taken.
said, "Yeah, he's taken," and then they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then he said, "Buy another 4,400," and then she says she's like so awesome. That scene jumps right into her ragdolling the guy
Bill
around.
Green.
And I was just like, I love that segue because she was just like messing this guy up, tossing him around. I actually felt those effects were pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed it. Her and the one episode we established that he has a office there. It's the big ass window behind him, and like as soon as they show the window, I told him like he's going out that window
Yes. Yes.
before before
Yes.
the end of this episode. And then when she tosses him out with with the Reverend watching,
Yes.
I'm like, they ain't never getting out of this hotel.
Oh,
You
at all.
basically gave them
What they
whatever
needed.
they wanted, right? And
Hmm.
uh, my last thought about her was, I don't think she ever left the hotel. I think she left and doubled back because
Yeah.
once again, they have not established anything for us to like think that she would now be after Bill Green.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe now I will say because she was taking an IPSC and
Yeah.
he's the head of everything. That's one thing I could see. But this whole connection to her sister,
Yeah.
this shit came out of left field. Like
Yes.
when they brought her back.
Hmm.
And when she just popped up out of the fucking, I was like, "Whoa, where, what is going on?" Like,
Yeah.
so it was random. Like I had fun with the scene,
Yeah.
but the whole thing was random with
It was
her.
terrible. That's
Yeah, like
terrible execution. Terrible.
what were your thoughts?
I think it's terrible
Yeah,
because remember that white lady? What's her name? Catherine, the one I don't
like
like.
like whatever Cora, whatever her
Cora.
name is. Yeah.
Why did we have her? Like those few scenes with her could have been
Hmm.
devoted to Hayden and Mildred talking about her sister. It would have
Hmm.
made more sense. So her popping up, I'm with you. What I
Hmm.
assumed was that maybe she was out on the run and then saw the news of like, oh, the big 4,400 day. But I was like, nah, even that's like, if I'm on the run, I'm getting away from this hotel. And how am
Right.
I able to leave? Like, I get that she's a young white girl. So if
Hmm.
we're looking at everyone who returned, she probably would be just the way she looks stealthy enough to get
Right.
far.
Yeah.
She's like, ingenious or, figuring stuff out. But she's also a child who is from
Yeah.
the 70s. Like, what
Right.
is you're
Right.
not getting far in 2021. So her coming back, it was like, okay, just we needed her to get from point A to point B. Um, the conversation with Bill Green, I did like. I like that she's yelling at him. I like that she's our very own Dark Phoenix. She's
Yeah.
letting him know you don't really care about us. And when she said, which I like because I feel like this is what a lot of maybe kind of civil rights adjacent or like when you look at like Black struggle in America lines
Hmm.
was like you and I think this is something that would have been delivered by Claudette even.
Hmm.
Y'all experiment on us, you fucking around and messing with us, but we're the ones with the power. Like you forget we're the ones with the power. I don't remember what she said verbatim, but it was very close to that. And I was like,
Yeah.
yes, Mildred, kill him. And
Right.
then she
I
pulled
mean,
out
she
the weapon.
tried. She tried it.
I was like, I was so even her yelling after like we don't have a backstory on her yet. I think if they had a
Mm,
given us that first, put the sister in it, and then give us this
yeah.
like she was the flower child who did the sit-ins and whatnot,
Yeah.
that would have made that scene maybe read a bit better because she's like leaning over the window. Y'all experiment on us, but I did this shit. Like, no, it was me. It was me, motherfucker. I was like, wait a minute, this is so weird. How did we get here?
Like
So
if I toss somebody out a window, I'm walking as far back from the window as
yes,
possible. If
yes,
anything, I'm going out the door
oh
down the
yes.
fire escape
You ain't
or
gonna catch
fly.
me.
Yeah, you're not catching me, especially with telekinesis.
Yeah.
And the reverend's like, Mildred, what'd you do? And I'm just like, she threw a motherfucker out the window.
You saw what she did. Like, this ain't the plan that God has for us. Reverend, that don't matter right now. None of that
Right.
matters. Like,
It's like the Lord put me back in this hotel for a reason. When
okay.
she tossed his ass and then like tried to beat him bludgeon him to death with the plant holder or the planter. Um, I was like, damn, CW, y'all really gonna do it?
Yeah.
I felt everybody's reactions were natural, especially the reporter. She was like, "Look up
Yes.
there, that little girl is just talking shit." Like how you commit a murder,
Yo,
an attempted
Bill
murder, and
Green.
then just talk shit.
Uh,
Like that's like for anybody watching. You ever see the Five Heartbeats?
yes.
You remember when
Oh,
Big Red was holding that dude out the window? That's like
yes.
if he dropped him down and started singing his own song to him. Like,
Yo,
like
yes.
Mildred, you gotta get the fuck out. That's why she
You gotta
can't live
chill.
with being on the run.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was random. I mean, like it definitely was unexpected.
Hmm.
But I don't. It was a lot going on, and then I
No.
think the revelation now that not the doctor, the Reverend has the ability to Now I don't know. Did we get to that in the 44 in the other series about
No.
that? Okay,
No.
so
We didn't yet. No.
I'll keep my mouth shut because he that is something from the original series.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
with that being said, you folks, so listeners, viewers, Robert has seen the whole 4400s, the original series. I have not. We're at the end of season three,
Of
right?
three
We got
season
like one
three.
more
Yeah.
episode. So for me, my mind went straight to X-Men. I went straight to Leech. I said,
Okay.
okay, he
There
can
you go.
nullify your powers
Mm-hmm.
in your vicinity. And so, okay, I want to mention this. There was some discourse on Twitter behind this. And again, shout out to God Given. That's my 4400 tweeting buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we both pretty much came up with the same ideas that okay, the Reverend can nullify your powers when you're in the vicinity. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the show is trying to trick us, the audience, because what happened was him and Mildred got to arguing. She said, "Well, I'm going to take care of you," or whatever she said. Tried to use her powers. When they didn't work, what she said was, "What did you do to my powers? My powers are gone." And that led a lot of people to say, "Oh, well, he can take all the powers from him." And I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
The show just started. Like, what kind of
Yeah.
sense would it make for him to take her powers permanently as opposed to his kicking in right at the right moment. And
Right.
so, that's what I've come up with is that he's a nullifier in the vicinity. Either he can cancel out your stuff completely, or perhaps it's like Domino, another X-Men character, where some kind of psychic level
Mm-hmm.
he can nullify anything that is trying to hurt him.
Okay.
So it's I'm think it's one of the two of them, but there was a lot of
Yeah.
conversation about it. And I was like, damn, y'all really, like I don't like them, but
I mean, at least people are talking about it.
yeah,
That's a good thing. And she did try to hurt him. She
bro,
said,
she tried.
just like God, Mildred.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
hmm,
So the other thing about the scene that I loved was because I just like stupid shit. This and I'm gonna give a really good I mean like a recent reference. The most
okay,
recent Halloween movie in
mm,
terms of like I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. And
yeah,
it's a lot of goofy shit that happens. There's a part in the hospital where the guy who is trying to rally the troops,
hmm,
it becomes like a mob, and the town literally is now going after Michael Myers. I'm like, y'all waited until 2021 to try this shit, huh? So um so they're all and so there's a guy at the hospital who they think is Michael Myers. And
hmm,
so it turns into like this scene of random people just running everywhere, just pissed off, pushing orderlies and doctors out the way.
hmm.
And it's done so poorly. Like,
Oh,
and it's just like it was something I just kept laughing at because I was just like the Benny Hinn music just kept playing in my mind.
yeah,
Where they're just running around. That's what this scene reminded me of. I love the fact that security didn't show up. Nobody tried to assist this guy,
at all.
and they just ran the fuck out. And there's even a scene where they show Bill Green on the ground, unconscious, and everybody is just out. Everybody just gone. And even when they
Yes,
came back from commercial, when Logan was going to Keisha to ask her, where's Hayden?
hmm,
Everybody
hmm,
is running out, and then
yes,
you see security. Like nobody is
yes,
in the atrium area with him. They directing people out, and then the paramedics are coming in. Like nobody tried to assist
It is
him.
terrible. Yeah. Yeah, he got to be hated because there's no way nobody on your
Right,
staff, or did you just
exactly.
not bring anybody from Ipsy? Like, you've been here. We saw you
Yep.
like 2 episodes ago. You
It's
were
like
here.
that stupid ass plan backfired. They had all security out in the lobby instead of surrounding your ass. And then,
Like,
like, remember Keisha said they gave us tranquilizer
guns. Yeah.
guns, right? So you're giving out these guns, but nobody in the vicinity is able to can like use them or at least be there to help you out. So once again, the stupid ass plan backfired because they just ran, man. I was laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was crazy, but
This
yeah.
was silly. This was silly as hell. It really was. I don't like, and that's, I'm hoping that this isn't, um I hope this is a one-off situation because it just feels like this third act needed like a hard 2 or 3 more passes to like tighten everything up because
Yeah.
this was, but then you go from that to Logan talking to Hayden, and that was a good scene. But it's like in the midst of all of this, wait, wait. So I'll say this: I am not,
Hmm.
I am not a Logan fan.
Hmm.
I think the actor, Corey, you're doing your job.
Hmm.
I don't like his relationship with Hayden. Not that there's
Hmm.
anything wrong with the relationship, but it feels very odd.
Okay.
And if Keisha, this is this is this is my dissonance.
Hmm.
Keisha, you just saw Mildred do some stuff. Keisha
Hmm.
let you know without letting you know that you brought a alien into your house who can do magic, but did not give you details. And it's like, oh, I'll let him tell you. And I'm like, but he's a child. I don't care if he's 91 years old.
Exactly.
This man is a child. Why is he still with them? It's just a lot. But I
Yeah.
think as far as the pep talk is concerned, that was
Hmm.
nice. However, if you can extend this grace to Hayden, why can't you do that to Shanice?
I mean that. Never mind. Yeah.
And he's been doing that since Ipsy Med because he was like, yeah, well, my daughter did the right thing. She called me when she was in trouble. Well, sir, let's congratulate her for calling you, but also look at the reason why she called you. She broke into a hospital to rescue some more alien. It was just, so when I say Logan had a
Hmm.
good conversation with Hayden, I still
Yeah.
believe that because it's a very much like father knows best type of scene, but
Hmm.
it's weird as fuck. I wouldn't want him
Yeah.
back in my house with my wife and daughter. I don't care how great you are. Your good friend who we had pulled from the hospital just killed a man.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
There. So the reason I made my face was like they need to teach this boy how to cry.
Mm,
Because his it just I like it just like his face kept scrunching up and I was looking for like the single tear. But I just like I said, it was I thought the scene was good. I definitely let's say this after Mildred just essentially pulled a Rick James on your couch routine to anybody's chances of being taken, any 4400's chances of being taken, not seriously, but
mm,
people seeing them as being safe, quote
yeah,
unquote safe. She said, "Fuck that,"
yeah.
and he may not be able to live with them, but I think that they're committed to the storyline of actually him and Mariah together
Hmm.
is working. So
Yeah, I
that's
like
like
that.
that's
I
like a
like that.
brother sister combo. I think it still gives us more time to see Bridget, kind of bring her more into the fold,
Hmm.
um, and then also have Shanice, deal with that family dynamic. But I think, I mean, they like I said, they like him. I mean, you realize that when he was just like, "This is a fine, upstanding gentleman, and I'll be proud to call him, my son." And I was just like, "This is weird.
This
This is like
is,
really weird. Like we didn't even have a moment between the two
look,
of them where they were like developing." Like not
yeah,
feelings for each other, but just like building that relationship.
but
And
yeah,
Logan,
rapport. Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
Logan was just like, I don't know if he's just a fan of people from the 1920s or 10s. Like he's like
Yes,
he was like
yes.
they were better people back then. I was like, whoa, Logan, no.
I make
Um,
it great again.
right, man. No, no, no,
'Cause
God, no.
yeah, because he came out like, yeah, I've got them cookies from the 1920s. I was like, wait, when did y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
What did I say? I said the snack. I gotta go back. And I can't remember what I kept saying, like this,
mhm.
the Skittle butter or some shit
Yeah,
like that. It
something,
was,
yeah, some
yeah,
random, bruh. Logan is
yeah.
weird, man.
Like I said, it's been back and forth.
Yeah,
But oh god, I'm trying to even remember how to say. Oh, it ended with so Andre and Shanice.
yeah.
The other funny thing about this was Andre was in the basement, oblivious to what had happened. Just like Dr.
Bruh,
Andre was like, he said, "I'm trying to get my Harlem groove back,"
man,
and
say,
she was like,
uh,
Mildred just said F your couch. But he's like, I don't understand the reference. Um, and
yo,
he probably should have said, I didn't see her come through the secret passageway. How did she get in there, Andre? I mean, not Andre,
she live in the
Ray.
wall.
How'd she get
Yeah,
in there and get
I.
past Andre, Dr. Andre?
She
She
lives
been in
under one
that
of them
hotel the
beds.
whole fucking time.
Yes,
She been
in that
hiding
snack
out in the
room.
laundry room.
Like,
Um,
I hate her storyline. I hate it.
yeah. But they, just messed it. He had a whole nice little setup, and
Fairy
she
lights.
just,
Hmm.
yeah. I think that's how the episode ends, right? With
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
yeah, because she says, tomorrow we'll deal with it or something, and
yeah,
so and Shanice just looked shook. She was just like,
yeah.
I need to. Everybody acted appropriately to the fact that a man got thrown out the window.
Except for his people.
Right,
Everybody but his
exactly.
people. Yeah.
Like the security was just like, well, I mean, we got the hour off, and they gave us these new guns. Let's go shoot targets outside. I was like, there was,
That's essentially what happened off screen. Cause like this was weird. I don't like Bill Green, and I at first he was like a scary, ominous like
not
villain, but
now.
now you're a joke. Like the Rev is more of a villain to me. Like
Right.
what are you? What are
It,
you doing?
it just tossed his ass out the window. His body all broken. Just yeah. Who was so? And this goes to once again. This goes to the whole thing of like I don't know what the end game for the season is. Um,
Who knows now? Like this should have been a season finale because there's no way. What do we
yeah.
do after this? What do we do?
They start. I mean, they start locking everybody up. I mean, that's going to be the big thing, or at least, I mean, not locking everybody up. They're going to prevent them from leaving. You know, I don't know. Like I will say that this show has me not knowing what's coming next week
Right. Yeah.
because Claudette was out at bartending school. We didn't know that was
Which
happening.
where? Like in Detroit? Like because you're not even at home. Man, you know what?
I was like, did she go out of state?
The Vegas? Like what do you mean
Yeah,
bartending
it just
school?
no. I mean, I believe it. I believe there's a bartending school, but it was just
Even
I'm.
still.
But like, do you stay on campus for that?
And is it like a weekend thing? Like what do you
Right.
mean? What do you anybody who has a bartending license, please let us know. What are the requirements? Because I'm not shitting on your industry, but it's like that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I
Um,
think
yeah,
I. It was weird, and I think it's just another thing for her to. I already told you my theory without telling it.
yeah, yeah,
I
mhm,
think this was yeah, I think she planning for something,
yeah, yeah.
and maybe it
Oh,
happened earlier than she expected because Mildred just fucked everybody shit up.
golly. And then Ladonna, like, what is she gonna do? Like,
I would stay with my dad if I was
I'm,
her.
yeah, she just stay in Florida. Do not come back. Do not come
Right?
back because this
No.
is some mess. This is some mess. I tell you that. This is a lot going on, both in continuity and like on the production side. This is really
Yeah.
weird. Yeah. I don't
Um,
know. I don't know. I think they need to do more with Bridget. I think
mhm.
they need to do no. I'm really ready to see somebody go on the run. Like we had our Richard and Lily. I need I need somebody to go on the run. Like that's
there. Okay, so one of the things that Marcus did point out was,
uh huh.
a few episodes back. Corona probably prevented them from filming like in a
Mm,
lot of places. I will
yeah.
say, and that's part of the thing. I feel that a lot of this, and now they have had episodes where they filmed at different locations. You know,
Yeah.
they were in the park this episode, but they don't stretch. Like I'm not seeing a lot of like stretching out of Detroit.
Mhm.
And so I'm hoping that we get more of that in the second season. I should hope we
Mhm.
get more of that in the second half.
Yeah.
But everything seems to be just situated mainly around this hotel and
Mhm.
um like interior sets, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll get the on the run. I mean, I think one of the things that you always say about Vancouver, it's like they have a lot of these very picturesque places where they go and
Mhm.
film. And because I told you I would watch an episode, I'm like, oh shit, that was in Battlestar Galactica. That whole 4400 center
Mhm.
was has been in a bunch of different things that I've watched that are filmed up there. So
Okay.
it's like, yeah, and even something like Stargate.
Yeah.
So I
SG1.
don't. Yeah, SG1. So I'm hoping that they can flex because, quite as it's kept, we know this is shot in Chicago,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's a stand-in for Detroit. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that there are areas where we can kind of expand it out a little bit more because
Mhm.
everything right now seems a little confined and kind of sequestered.
Do
Um,
you feel like that is a detriment to the show? Like if let's say you're from, I don't know, the past and you watch this show,
mhm,
would you feel like, what am I trying to say? Because of COVID and like
mhm,
changing the way entertainment is created,
yeah.
is it apparent, or do you think like the story that's being told
Mhm.
fits well within these few spaces, even though you do want to see more?
I mean, I think it's fitting well within the spaces that they're using, but it's in me as a fan,
Hmm.
and I don't want to compare it to, but looking at the previous one, I want them to get out, and I
Yeah.
just I just want them to get away from the hotel. I
Yeah.
mean, because even now that's where the bulk of this story is being told.
Hmm.
Um, so that's I mean, like it's I think that's just kind of a personal one. I don't think it's at the detriment of the show, but
Yeah.
I will hope. I mean, hoping coming into season two
Yeah.
that yeah, I don't know, maybe more of a budget. Maybe there aren't as many subscriptions restrictions.
Yeah.
But like I said, when Marcus, shout out to Marcus Haynes, when he
Hmm.
made that point, I was just like, shit, that's another thing.
Yeah.
You don't take that into account because even watching Hawkeye, there are shots that I can tell that they came down here to Atlanta to film.
Okay.
So and it's supposed to be just completely New York City.
Hmm.
So they're but that's a Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
They have shots that are obviously in New York City, and then they were just like, well, let's save on a budget by filming
Atlantic
in
Station.
Atlanta. Atlanta. So it's really interesting to see
Hmm.
something like that kind of balance that whole thing. And um, but one of these days I want to get up to Vancouver and just kind of check it out because
Yeah.
the film industry is really huge up there. I mean, film and
Yeah.
television.
Yeah. For
So,
sure. Oh, good lord. So yeah, yeah. I will say, like you said earlier, I don't know what the hell is going on, and I think that is a good thing because you just introduced a huge plot twist, or
mhm.
um whatever, with Rev and his
Yeah,
powers. Also with Mildred coming out of
yeah,
thin air, and then also with like severing the ties between Shanice and Logan. Like all of
yeah.
that was in the last like 10 minutes
Yep.
of this show. Like, that was a lot. So, I'm like, and then Claudette is gone, and that cliffhanger from before, and
Yeah.
LaDonna, she doesn't have as big of a, or as shocking of a like exit from the
Hmm.
show, or from this part of the season. But I'm interested to see what happens next, because you could literally do anything for episode 9,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that's just, I don't know. Maybe we following the Black Johnny Storm, and see if he going back to Haiti, because I I don't know. I don't know. I don't
We'll
know.
see.
Who? I had Mildred said you kept me as a prisoner for no reason. Well, I'll give you a reason. Yeah, that was good. Good job, girl. Uh, what else did I have? Miss Grover telling Logan he need to move on. Is the Reverend a good guy? Because again, they keep setting him up as the
Yeah.
villain, but they keep like not following through
Yeah.
with him being a full villain. So I don't know. Oh, Maleficent.
Maleficent. I told you, Maleficent.
Yeah. Why do we even? And how do we get Mildred from throwing Bill Green out the window to like army gear in the future in the
I,
back alley? Like,
that was the other thing. Yeah, they did show that. So in the preview for next week, we see somebody putting on the mask and whatever. I mean, obviously she has. Hopefully, she has her abilities because
hmm
she's going through that door with with the militia members.
yes, yes, yes. I
So
don't know, man. I'm still gonna. Of course, I'm gonna tune in. I just
yeah,
hope
yeah,
that
yeah.
some of these plot holes they can wrap up or
Hmm.
make a little bit more sense. Because
Yeah.
this Millicent, is this a Sean and Kyle situation where it should have been her, but it was me? But we both from the
So
'70s.
if the funny thing is, I think that's going to be the episode where the actor who played Sean comes
Mm,
through. So
okay. And then
yeah.
who's he a lover of? Like he's a love interest for somebody. What?
Okay, I could be completely wrong then.
No, no, no. But that's what
Yeah.
I. He might. But I'm saying like, what woman? Because I will assume that he's going to be heterosexual in this iteration. So what woman is not attached? Maybe Ladonna? No, but why would you? He's like grown. She's a kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't. Again, like I said, I don't know what is going to happen. This show could do anything. So there's that. Um, I don't know. There wasn't really much else I had on my list. It was a lot of Logan stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Andre's surprise for Shanice being Harlem in the 1924.
Mhm.
And really Claudette and LaDonna. That was my biggest thing. Like the show, I do actually appreciate the way they are kind of writing off certain characters to give
Mhm.
the space for other people.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
because I think this scene, if we added Claudette in it, I don't know how you put Claudette in. I mean, I'm sure there's a way, but how do you put them in this episode? I don't know. Like they're not absolutely needed when it's really a Shanice
Right.
and Logan focused episode. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, so I don't know. Any last little things you want to go to our favorites and all that?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing really to add. I mean, like you said, the last 10 minutes um were crazy.
Yeah.
So we just do like a little insane. But
hmm
no, like so we can hop to the faves and the least faves and all that.
Yeah. Okay, faves. For me, my favorite this episode, I really, I don't know. I probably have to go with Shanice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Shanice because if I'm
Hmm.
looking at it, objectively, that one comment she made was kind of weird. Oh, we could be together, but like aside of that, she solved the mystery.
Yeah.
Had cool head with Rev. Uh, I just think her, or maybe Jarrell, but I got to go with Shanice. Shanice to me was the fave for this episode.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm,
So for me, the two for Shanice.
good.
Yeah, she was my favorite. I felt that there she just had a solid episode. Like I said, the weird thing with the scene with Logan, when she was just like, fuck everybody else, let's go. So um I felt that she her character was pretty solid, for this
hmm
episode. So how about your least favorite character?
I want to say Bill,
Hmm.
but not even because he's the villain, just because he was like poorly prepared.
Yeah,
I just don't like his preparation. So it's again, I want to be clear. Yes, he is the villain, and yes, we're not supposed to like him. But I'm just mad that he fumbled so poorly. Like
yeah.
this your first like big act outside of the
Hmm.
cell phones as a villain. So I gotta go with Bill. You suck, Bill.
Yeah.
You
So
suck.
we won't double up. I'm gonna say the black guy at the support group meeting. Because he sounded like
Oh
people.
man.
He sounded like a COVID denier, and I was
Yes.
just like, how can you do that? It's like you can literally go to the hotel and talk to these people. He's like, that's a hoax, and I'm just
Oh
like,
my god.
what homework have you done? It's just
Yeah, and with who? Like
so
I ain't see you in none of these shots, these
yeah,
pan shots to the crowd. But yeah,
yeah,
so good, good, good.
yeah. Black guy at the support group meeting.
Oh my
So
god, he was terrible.
Yeah. And what was your favorite moment?
Favorite moment. Uh I gotta say I did like, and it's not gonna say a lot. I was gonna say Mariah being interviewed and talking about Mildred. That was cool,
Hmm.
but that I can't be my favorite. Um a favorite. A lot of this was Logan. Don't really care for Logan. Not a fan of Bridget. Da, 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 da. Probably Miss Grover telling him to move on. Yeah, probably, and because when I look at it, I feel like it
Yeah.
was because she pretty much helped raise Shanice.
Hmm.
Saying that to Shanice's husband to
Yeah.
me felt like a bigger gesture than probably what it was supposed to be. Because it's like all intents and purposes, this is my daughter or my niece, but
Hmm.
you have to do better for your child. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like she can have that very conversation with Shanice about what she told Logan and
Hmm.
not feel any kind of guilt because it's like you weren't here. So I think
Right.
Miss Grover talking to Logan, that felt like a it came from a good place.
Gotcha. So for me, for all the wrong reasons,
Oh no.
Logan at the support group. Um, Logan at the support group, because when they started saying this stuff, I was just like, "Damn, this!" It was a surprise. That
Yeah.
was as much of a surprise as Mildred popping up from the hotel laundry room, where I know she's
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh my god. And that lady with that bob, I was like, man, she was gonna whoop Logan's ass. That she was
exactly.
gonna be the one, not the men. She was going. She said, "You have whatever what we all want. This is
Yeah.
not the place for you." I'm like, God damn,
It
lady.
was like,
So,
damn,
yeah, she was reckless.
man could
Yeah.
be emotionally unstable.
Mm,
Um,
come on.
so rating this episode, uh, how many
Yeah.
Bill Greens being thrown out the window do you
Oh
rate
my
this episode?
god. Honestly, I gotta go with like a 6.5 or
Mm,
a 7. I'll just do 6.5 dead Bill Greens.
yeah,
Cause
Bill Greens.
I just like you said, like the stuff that I didn't like, but
Hmm.
for the wrong reasons, like the grief meeting
Yeah,
and Bill Green being thrown out the window. It's like a lot of this wasn't executed well, and some of this was I just 6.5, six
yeah.
point five.
So for me, I think it's gonna be a six. It's gonna be a
Oh, okay.
six. The funny thing is, on IMDb, it has a 6.2 out of 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yep,
Yo, that's heavy. That's
yeah.
a heavy on me.
As they say on what is Back to the Future? It's a Back to the Future reference.
Yeah.
He's like, is everything? Never mind. I'm gonna get it wrong. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So like a
Yeah.
six. This was my favorite. It's not totally like five or below, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, six is probably where I sit with this. So
Yeah. It was the goofiest episode. This was the
mhm,
episode that I feel like a lot of people who have been critiquing the show and it's like, oh, it's CW by whatever. I feel like this is the episode where some of that critique could be applied because like,
mm,
oh, this is silly. What's going on when they've been so strong for the first seven? So
mhm,
yeah, yeah, that's saying something. Oh man. Well, mid-season finale returned January 17th, which
yeah,
what is that like 3 weeks? What is
it's
that?
like 3 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's going to. Who? No, that's one, two. That's
two,
4 weeks.
three.
Well, it's three. Well, no,
No,
it's four
it's
because
four.
it's
Yeah, it's four.
yeah. Jesus Christ. So a month, y'all. We got a month hiatus.
No.
Jeez. In that time, you may see me pop up with a Naomi and a Tom Swift review. I'm not
Mm,
sure when they return, like what day. Um, but hey, we got a month off.
yeah.
Um, Robert, I let these folks know where to find you, reach you, support you, uh, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. RobertKJeffrey.com is my website, and the Instagram handle is RobertK.Jeffrey. I got to remember to start doing that because we do have an audio component. I'll be like, just look at the screen. So RobertK.Jeffrey is
Mhm.
Instagram, and yeah, that's where you and also, as usual, blacksci-fi.com. So,
Yes, indeed. That those links will be in the show notes, including that IG handle. And for me, Carefree Blurred on Twitter. That's the most immediate way to get in touch with me. Carefree Black Nerd everywhere else, Instagram and all that. If you must email, do it at carefreeblacknerd@gmail.com. If it's about 4400, make it be known in the subject line. You know, don't be like, "What's up?" and then it's a long email that I know nothing about. So yeah,
Yeah,
in the subject line, put something 4400, a light in the sky, something like that. Um, yeah, y'all, we're on hiatus, so we'll be back in 4 weeks with this show.
yeah,
Until then, listen to the back catalog, watch the old videos, come up with your thoughts, theories, ideas, and share them. And
yeah.
I don't know, stay carefree and nerdy. And what else you got?
I recommend watching all the episodes on your app, the CW app,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then listening to our reviews. So
Yeah.
so pair those up so we can
Yeah.
yeah, because we'll be spreading the word about the previous episodes over the break. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Because it's just holiday time. You are sitting
yep,
there with your family full. Y'all ain't talking
exactly.
about nothing or you're arguing. You might as well put on a podcast,
Hmm.
god dang it, put on ours and call it a
There you
day.
go.
So yeah. So yeah, stay carefree, nerdy, geeky, all that good stuff. And come back. Come back. God dang it, come back. Uh well,